Now the starting lineup for the Keeping It Real show. From Oak Point, Texas, it's the Tokyo Tex, the Kamikaze Cowboy, the Sukiyaki Jockey, the MOT, the Man of Trail, Tim Kimura! And from the home of the San Antonio Spurs, the captain of the team, the man with the dream, the man behind the wheel for Keeping It Real, Brad Jewett!
Hello, everybody. Let us know where you're tuning in from tonight. I'm Brad Jewett.
I'm Tim, the Trailman.
Keeping it real.
And now, Brad and Tim.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's main event features in the trail corner, Tokyo Tex, Kamikaze Cowboy, the Sukiyaki Jockey, the MOT, the man of trail that is known for his side passes, his bag of tricks, his lope overs, his trot overs, those 6-foot poles, the 12-foot poles, Tim Kimura. Yeah, buddy. And in the other corner, from the home of the San Antonio Spurs, the captain of the team, the man with the dream, the man behind the wheel at keeping it real. He is known for his all-around prowess, his spins, his transitions, his lead changes. Brad Jewett.
Boom.
Jeff, thanks for noticing my shirt, man.
Oh, yeah.
I wore it because we got Oklahoma in the house tonight. It'll be an awesome show. How do you like our new boxing kind of introductions tonight? We got away from the basketball introductions and went to some boxing introductions tonight. Mr. Side Pass over there.
Look at my new hat.
Look at that from one of our great sponsors, Nutrena. I love the hat, man. Got the green on the rim. That's a sharp-looking hat.
Thanks, Shelly. I know.
Very sharp. Very sharp. Well, all right.
Hi, Holly.
Welcome. Welcome on this Friday night. We got Miss Jackie Krshka just about to join us here. We do want to mention on Monday, before Tim and I pack up and come to Oklahoma City, we're going to have Miss Sarah Simons in here. It'll be a very, very fun show, I am sure. She's full of energy. Had a great interview with her on Monday. So we're excited about her being here for sure. And then, of course, we got Memorial Day weekend. It's Memorial Weekend, I guess you could call it, right?
And what are you doing this weekend without us?
I'm going to the lake, I think, tomorrow, providing it doesn't look like it's going to rain a bunch. And it doesn't look like it's going to rain. I mean, it's going to rain, but I don't think it's going to rain during the peak times of me going to the lake.
Lucky you.
Yeah, buddy. We had a great trail day today at Jewett Performance Horses. We got set up pattern and do our side pass and triangles and lope diagonals and all that kind of stuff.
I think I'm going to do some side pass triangle tomorrow, too.
I'm
inspired.
All right. I have no doubt. I'm sure you're having withdrawals, buddy. All right. Let's bring her in, Kona. Let's bring in Miss Jackie Krshka.
Yes, Jackie.
Everybody give her a round of applause. Hey, Jackie.
Hey.
Welcome to the Real Show. Love the shirt.
Thank you.
Love the shirt.
Looking good. Jackie, let's get right into it. Can you tell us a little bit about your birthplace, about your childhood and your family business, so on, kind of where you started this amazing life in the quarter horse industry?
Well, I grew up in New Mexico in a little town named Vaughn, New Mexico. I was raised on a large cattle and sheep operating ranch with my father, who was a cattleman, but a great horseman as well. Did that most of my young years, all my young years. But my dad was a very proficient horseman. He worked for Hank Wieskamp for a while during a stint and came back to the ranch, and we worked there, and I grew up learning from him and showing as a youth. Started showing when I was about 5. Showed all of the all-around stuff. But, of course, growing up on a ranch, I learned how to rope, how to do the rodeo events, and just a little bit of everything.
Hang on a minute. Okay, can you tell us a little bit?
We got to get Tim connected here.
No, I was checking things off my list. So can you tell us about when you first started showing horses and maybe your first youth world?
Well,
Kona?
showed youth primarily. I lived in New Mexico, so we showed in Arizona and New Mexico. We never had the money to go as far as California, but a lot of my good buddies showing at that time were Debbie Cooper and Karen Graham. She's a little younger than me, but Lolly Walker. We're all quite the little amigos there, and went to Youth World, the first Youth World there in Amarillo, Texas. Took it by firestorm for sure. There were some great, great women that are certainly been leaders in this industry. Nancy Sue Ryan was there.
Look at that.
That's way back. Robin Merrill was at that show. I think she won the Hunter Hack that year. Nancy Sue. Diane Eppers was there. Lolly Walker, myself, Debbie Cooper. Just a lot of great, strong women that have been leaders in this industry.
Can you point out any of those there, like from left to right, who we're kind of looking at? Because I know some people are going to be watching on their big TV and are going to want to, or maybe even watch it on their big TV on our YouTube channel at some point. But I love this history. So if you can point any of those out, I know it's not real big on your screen, Jackie, and if you can't, that's okay. But I figured we'd ask.
Yeah, but I mean, they were for sure there. I think, Bobby Harrison, I believe that year won the horsemanship.
Awesome.
I can't remember if Clay McLeod was there. I'm thinking he might have been there as well. Maybe not, but I'm pretty sure he was. But it was a great time. It was hot as can be, and but we were all young and excited. And
then what class did you show there?
I showed in the breakaway roping. I think I was third in the breakaway roping. I was fourth in the horsemanship, third in the pleasure, third in the reining. And I think that's all. Yeah.
That is awesome. Did you guys hear those classes? The roping, the reining, the pleasure, and the horsemanship. That's all. That's awesome.
It was fun.
Sorry, Kona. So how about, like, I asked you this before, what trainers in that time era were, like, maybe your mentors or the people you looked up to or people that helped you perhaps?
Well, there were so many great horsemen at that point in my lifetime, in the 15 to 18 year range, John Hoyt, Bob Ingersoll, Jim Paul, Ben Gautreau. I know I'm leaving some out, but those were all such great horsemen that influenced. I mean, my father was by far the greatest influence, but he was always a man that believed that you needed to not just learn from him, but learn from other people. And so he always encouraged me to watch those great horsemen and learn from them.
And then after your youth, and then you became a horse trainer and worked with Pete and your dad, or you both worked for your dad. Can you kind of talk about those years?
Oh, let me go back. One thing I want to reflect on is when I was 16 years old, my dad and Matlock Rose were just really, really close friends. And he asked me, he said, would you like to go ride with Matlock through the summer? And he said, I'm sure he'd let you come work there. And I'm like, absolutely, that would be awesome. So they fly me to Texas and pick me up and bring me there. And now I was pretty much what they would call a kid out of the sticks, for sure. He was a very gruff and overbearing personality. I mean, he would definitely scare the bejesus out of you. But I was so eager for knowledge, and I'm thinking to myself, oh, man, I'm going to get to ride all these great horses. Oh, this is going to be incredible. Well, I think the first month and a half, I spent most of my time hot walking and cooling out cutters for him. So, but it didn't matter. I got to watch the great men. And you'd saddle horses at 4:30 in the morning, tie them on the fence. He would work horses till noon. You'd rinse those off. He'd go get lunch. You'd go grab lunch, come back, saddle all the roping horses, have those ready for him. He'd rope till 4 or 5. He'd go back in, and then what cutters he didn't get finished, those up, and he'd cut till dark. He had lights on, and he'd even go beyond dark. So, it was just a phenomenal experience. Well, then the next year, he called my dad and said, you think a girl would like to come back? And my dad said, I bet she would. So I go back, and that year Don Dodge was there, another phenomenal legend in our time. So I got the great opportunity to listen and learn from him. But the very best thing about it was that whole year in Matlock's mind was a test for me of my commitment and endurance, because I didn't get really to ride very much at all. I just worked like a slave. And that next year I got to ride a horse called Peppy the Tiger, which ended up being the world champion in the NCHA. He let me ride his best rope horse. I got to do everything. I went sand bass fishing with him on Lake Texoma. And it was just really a great thing in my life to realize that it's about proving your commitment to something, and he saw that in me. And so that next year was just nothing but embellishing me with knowledge, all of his knowledge, and then have the opportunity to have Dodge there as well. Just phenomenal.
Wow. Hey, I got to share this comment from Holly Hover real quick. She said, one time I showed to Jack Kyle in the showmanship. I was the only one in the class. He placed me fourth and told me to go home and work on it. I don't know your father. I'd never met him, but it just from what you've described and the work ethic that you were brought up with, and all the horses that you rode and who you went to go work for, it makes complete sense. That doesn't feel like an embellishment at all.
That is hilarious.
Go ahead, Tim.
So can we go through the part where Pete and you work for your dad?
Yeah, well,
is that kind of what you're
when he graduated from high school, he moved right to the ranch, and he and I worked for my father for a couple of 3 years, and went down the road with him, showed horses at Sun Circuit and all the New Mexico shows, and just again, he imparted his knowledge upon us. And I'm older than Pete, so I was at the point trying to prepare myself to go out and venture on my own, and Pete as well. After he was with my dad for a while, then Pete went to work for Tommy Mannion, and then after that, Al Dunning. So he got all of those great gentlemen as mentors as well. So anyway, we traveled down the road, Pete and I, with my dad, and then fall time after that, then I moved to Oklahoma and went out on my own, married Katie's and Kyle's father, Tom, and we built and started our own operation here in Yukon.
Tim, you're muted, buddy. There you go. No?
There you go.
There you go.
I got so much stuff going on here. So I was very astonished with all the awards you've won, and just a different, not so much the awards, but the different events that you've won in, okay?
Yeah,
and
sure.
And perhaps you can just kind of share with us some of the, not the big ones, because they're all big that you've written down here, from the super horse to the cow horse to Western riding, the reining, and the hunter under saddle. Maybe tell me about your horses and some of the awards that you won.
Exactly, because and I want to preface it, Jackie, because everybody we have on there, you're always super humble. That's what makes you the amazing people that you are. So please, you're not bragging. People want to know, the people that are watching. We've had so many people go, we love these evenings because we get to know the backstory on people that we would never, ever be able to get to know. So they want to hear it. There's people on here that know who you are, but didn't know you back then. So please don't hesitate. Call, shout out to any of your past owners or horses or whatever you'd like to do. Just take your time and go through them, because it is a long list, like Tim said.
Well, first of all, I had a great mare that certainly was the start of my career, and her name was Sweet and Innocent. She was an orphan. Her mother died when she was about 6 weeks old, and I brought her in and had to raise her on a bottle for a while and then change her to feed, and she was just my little project. Her name was Sweet and Innocent. She was just a great, great mare, and I had actually shown her mother when I was about 9 years old. So that was kind of the start of my career. I showed her some as a 3-year-old and some reining futurities just locally. I was really new to Oklahoma. And then Tom and my father and I decided we wanted to try and take a run at the super horse. And back then it was kind of really the big thing and got a massive amount of spotlight at the World Show. And so I showed her there. I was fortunate enough to be third in the reining and fourth in the Western riding. Tom won the calf roping honor. I was third in the cow horse. And then my dad, I believe, was seventh in the heeler. And all of that was enough to be able to win the Super Horse Award, which was just awesome. And that really tapped our business off here. We had built a barn, and after that, it just exploded and had to build another barn. And I was blessed to have phenomenal people support us and be clients. So after that, then lots of youth kids came through the doors, had a lot of great horses. Fortunate enough to meet Lee Berryhill's mom, Paula Thompson, and Bill. And they asked me to come actually to the Palomino show and ride a mare for them named Skip Cachette. And that led to a relationship where I was able to have a horse called Skip the Star's Lace, who was a great horse that Lee won a tremendous amount on, and I was blessed enough to win 3 world champions on, as well as 3 Congress champions.
And those world champions on that horse were in the reining?
In the Western riding.
Western riding. I'm sorry, I missed that. Western riding.
Yeah. So did that, and then a few years later, I really loved the rein cow horse stuff, so I rode a lot of Snaffle bed horses for some clients, Lonnie Alsop being one of them at that time, he was from New Mexico, and had a mare by the name of Tasmanian Tari that I won some Snaffle bed cow horse futurities on and ended up taking her to the World Show and won the Junior Working Cow Horse honor until I believe 2 years ago, Sarah Dawson won it on a dun stud. I think to that point in time, I was the only woman to win the junior cow horse.
That's awesome. That's a long streak right there. I love that.
And that's for sure. And then, through many years, but my business was based on all-around horses. I taught lots and lots of youth and amateurs and thoroughly loved it. Nancy Renfro, Heather Keller, there's just so many that were great parts of my life. And I really had a yearning to excel at the reining. And I had been a cowgirl that reined, and I thought I knew how to rein a horse and did a good job, but I really didn't feel like I had crafted myself to be as good as I could be. So at that point, I decided I wanted to better myself and started really taking guidance and mentorship from Tim McQuay, who was a huge influence in developing and improving my reining career. And with that, I think I had probably 10 horses through the years that I won 25 bronzes on, made the futurity finals, I think 8 times, and then had the great horse for me, Dunnett Rawhide, who offered me the opportunity to win what was then the Limited Open. There was only 2 divisions, and then I ended up being third in the NRHA futurity finals. At that point, the only woman I know since then. There's been several, but it was a great time.
I remember that. That was in the heart of my reining days right there. So I remember that time specifically.
It was a great.
So isn't it funny? I'm going to mention my friend Robin talked about horsemanship the other night, where if you're sitting in the middle of the horse and that cow comes out and you're a horsemanship girl, you'll have a great seat because you have great balance. And what I'm thinking here is, Jackie's a great horsemanship coach, great horsemanship judge. And all the things that she did when she was younger, it's the reining, the cow horse, the Western riding, and the undersaddle. All those skills went into her brain, and she became so sharp at those classes that, I look at horsemanship, I look at her daughter showing, and I've watched her coach, and it's just all those different classes make you, I don't know, I want to go back to centered. When Robin says, when that cow comes in the pen, you'll be ready to go no matter what kind of horsemanship rider if you're centered and ready to go. And I just see all those different pieces of Jackie going to horsemanship, I don't know. That's my little statement right there.
I don't know if she mentioned about her hunter under saddle win. Did you, Jackie?
I did not. I had the great fortune of Nancy and Lynn Alto giving me the opportunity to ride on Full Investment, which that was a great time and won the junior hunter under saddle win.
Yeah, I mean, that may be a record that stands. A woman that has won the cow horse and the hunter under saddle and the Western riding. I don't know. I mean, it might have happened, but I mean, that's a very rare thing to win a world championship in those different events for sure.
So I'm going to just move over to your judging too, because you've been a judge for 30 years. You've been director for 30 years. There's so many of these things you've been on for so many years. Judges committee for 15 years. Can you just tell me about, like, especially the pro horsemen? That's probably the one I always like to talk about, like the roots of that, how that started when you were there and what you saw.
Well, I was always, it was always pushed upon me by my father. He was very involved as a director with the New Mexico Quarter Horse Association, and he always pushed me to be able to give to that, because that's going to help, help our business and our industry continue on. So I've always been involved in that and wanted to be involved in governance. So I was very kind of in the profile at that time, and Bill Brewer was our executive director. And there had been some years at the World Show that things were, somewhat discontent, whether it be the ground or some evaluation on judging or this or that. And there was a lot of conversation about having something that the pro horsemen could get together and have a voice to the executive committee and to the AZQHA. And at that point in time, Bill Brewer had the foresight to develop the Pro Horseman Committee, at that time it was called, and he appointed 8 of us to that inaugural committee. So I was one of the 8 people appointed to that, and that was really, really something that tapped off professionals having a voice. And subsequent to that, we really started having judges more specialized to their class. We had the ground for sure was something that made a dramatic change.
Yeah, for sure.
But it certainly started opening the doors for pro horsemen to have a voice in the AZQHA from our perspective.
So can you tell me just a little bit about your involvement with the Red Bud Horse Show and the board of directors and how long we've done it?
Yeah, so our association came up with the idea of the Red Bud, and actually the very first year it was held at the Lazy E. And we were all just a bunch of volunteers and group of directors that put it on, and quickly we realized that it was going to be something that would grow. And the next year we moved it to the fairgrounds, and I helped with that for a lot of years as a volunteer and as a director. And then there was a point in time where I had some health problems and my health took a turn and was really minimizing my ability to ride. And at that point in time, I felt like I could possibly use some of my background and my knowledge to even lend to make that show even better. And I approached Oklahoma Quarter Horse, or I actually told them that I had to make a decision. I couldn't take care of my health and train horses and do that. I had to figure out something, but I had to have a livelihood as well. So we came to an agreement where I assist with, I coordinate the competitions for Oklahoma Quarter Horse. And from that, it enabled me to give more time and dedication to it. And from that, it just grew and grew and grew and has become a really great show.
Wow.
I'll say it has.
I'm trying to stay quiet over here, you guys. So the last thing I really asked before we go on, about the judges committee. I'm really curious about that. Like, you've been on for 15 years and then you moved to the show committee, but during your judges committee, can you tell me what you saw with that committee?
It's a great committee. I mean, it's a strong and powerful committee. We have to make a lot of hard choices, and we have a a task of really, when we look at people as to their whether they should be a judge or not, it is not just an application. It is about their background. It's about their character. It's about how they interact with other people. It is about their base of knowledge. And you have to really take that seriously. And I think that committee's comprised of a lot of versatile people, and we try and bring that in. So we give merit to those applications of those individuals. But it's a lot of pressure and a lot of burden, and I took it and enjoyed it every year of it. And I was blessed to be on 15 years. That's a long stint to be on a committee. And this year I moved to the show committee, but it was a great, great time, and I enjoyed it very much. But it would be time for me to lend my voice to another committee. I'm totally supportive of it and think it's a good decision on their part.
You've done so much, okay, in your career.
Given so much.
Yeah. Oh my God. It's wow. It's just overwhelming. And then we have the horse show. So we got to do one thing before we talk about the horse show next, Bradford.
That's right. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for Rapid Fire. Miss Jackie get in the hot seat. Are you ready?
This is so scary to give her questions. She's my boss.
Yeah, you're working for her next week. I would say so.
Here it goes. Question number 1. Which belt buckle do you wear when you're judging? Which belt buckle do you wear when you're judging? Okay. What? You're going to take that one from me, Brad. So number 2.
I didn't hear that. I didn't hear the answer to that. She broke up. Say that answer again, Jackie. Which buckle?
Absolutely, 100% my Super Horse belt buckle.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Love that. Question 2. What app on your phone do you usually use every day? Which app on your phone do you usually use every day? And which one I use?
It's Facebook, I promise you that.
Okay, I'll give you that one. How about this one? Question 3. What do you like to cook for dinner at home when you have time?
Probably steak and good baked potato.
Nice. I'm coming for dinner next week.
Yeah, that's what we cook all the time. Okay. Which fraternity do you like to go watch when you're not working?
Oh, the reigning fraternity.
Okay.
Reigning fraternity.
For sure. Name your last place or destination you went on vacation.
Oh, that's easy. Last year, my son, daughter, and daughter-in-law, we went to Portland, Oregon.
Oh, good job.
Oh, beautiful.
Good job. What does Jackie Krshka order at Starbucks in the morning?
A Trenta black iced tea, no sugar, 1 sweet and low.
Whoa.
Okay, I love it.
I would not have pegged that.
Yeah. What was your favorite class or subject in school?
Really? Probably English.
English, wow. Okay, question 8 is Brad's, please.
Tim had a hard time spitting this out, so I was like, okay, I'll do it. I'll explain it. Name a man and a woman who you have enjoyed judging with. They don't have to be husband and wife. They can be just who do you?
Goodness gracious.
It's a tough one, huh? There's so many.
Yes.
You remember, don't forget you judged with me just last year, just saying.
Yeah. No, I got to go older than you.
Okay, I'll give it to you.
Probably Holly Hobart, because it's always a laugh a minute.
That's good.
And I thoroughly enjoyed judging with John Barry because I love breaking down specifics about horses and their movement.
Awesome.
Good job.
Awesome.
2 more. If you could show at the AQHA World Show on any of your past horses you've ridden, which horse and which class would you enjoy showing again?
Probably done it rawhide because I think you could take any of them on.
Haha, awesome.
Which class?
Raining.
Oh, raining. Okay. Here goes. Ready for number 10? What picture or item hangs on your wall in your office that has a lasting memory?
My father.
Well, I'm sorry, what was it?
The picture of my father.
Awesome.
Perfect. Love it.
Brother,
Awesome.
I think you had it on your screen before.
Got it. Good job.
With his boots.
Well, it's actually the picture of Pete's father and my father, and then the other brothers, and it's truly kind of speaks to what our family background was. And it's amazing for us to come from that background and to have come to where we are in this industry today and achieve what we have.
Yeah.
It was grassroots, really, for sure.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Well,
Good job, Jackie.
Stick around. We got to thank our sponsors here.
Sponsors.
Can get that out. And Holly, by the way, she didn't mean older. She just meant older than me. Just so you know. Holly commented older with 4 question marks.
Good job.
But thank you all for joining us tonight. We'll be back shortly, like in maybe 2 minutes. So stick around. You see our.
Every once in a while, something comes along that could be a game changer. Enter Unishippers, a trusted shipping source for more than 30 years. If you need a reliable, fast shipping source, turn to a specialist that knows the unique shipping needs of the equine reproductive marketplace. As an authorized UPS reseller, Unishippers offers unbeatable shipping value. Let Unishippers deliver for you. Call Mark and his team today.
Caring for your horses is easy when there's a safe choice for you. If you need one feed for the whole barn, there's a safe choice. If your horses need gastric support, there's a safe choice for them too. Some horses need lower starch and sugar. You guessed it, there's a safe choice for them. There's also a safe choice for mares and foals, for seniors, and for easy keepers. All these horses can gain a lot with science-backed nutrition from Nutrena. Yours could too. For every horse, there's always a safe choice.
Get your drumsticks out, Tim. All right, everybody, welcome back. We are back from our break. We want to thank Miss Jackie Krshka again for giving us her Friday evening. It's been a special time so far for me to hear a lot of interesting history that I had never really sat down and been able to hear from Jackie. So this is awesome because usually we're all working when we get to see each other. So this time has been great to get to see or to get to listen to. So this second half, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be very strong about the Redbud and what we have to look forward to coming up, with all the new protocols and everything that's going on. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to Tim and take it away, man.
So, Jackie, maybe you can start talking about before we get there and when we get there and what we should expect and what you expect from us, too.
Well, certainly before you get there, I will have hoped that you pre-registered. We've been sending that out there that we really need you to do that. That's going to help mitigate some of the traffic in the show office. So by having that, we can have everything ready for you, and you simply are going to verify what's on the screen and the classes you want in, or tell us you want in this or you want out of that. But it's certainly going to make a better flow. When you come in, as always, I have a gate person, and we'll try and let you in based on the traffic. And then more than ever, we always want you to try and get unloaded and get your rig moved. But more than ever, it's going to be really imperative that you do that. You know, I feel extremely blessed, and our opportunity to have this show has come through a lot of work with the city officials, the State Fair Park, the mayor, and it has not been an easy task by any means, and it has taken a lot to develop the trust and confidence in the city for us to do this. And I know everybody out there is really wanting to go somewhere. We miss each other, we miss showing, and so this is an opportunity, and I want to make sure we get it right. And I have every confidence in every professional and owner that they want the same thing. So you know everything out there, and just put aside what your personal feelings are or not. If you don't believe in a mask or this or that, let's put it aside and do what's best for the show.
Yeah.
And so anyway, just use common sense. It's not that difficult. More than anything, I want the perception to be right. We want you to protect yourself, keep social distancing. It's proven that is really a mitigating factor of keeping social distance, that's how it's spread at great frequency. So keep your social distance, and we definitely want to make sure that we're giving the right visuals so that if somebody sees us, they have the right report to make.
So did you mention that the stalling might be a hair different, the layout?
Yeah, on the east side of the barn, one thing that concerned me was that east side, like that would be the side where Robin and Murray and Nab and Shoe stalls, is the people behind them. How do they get to the show ring? How are they going to get somewhere without going through the alleyways if those people aren't comfortable with them coming through their alleyway? So we've opened up an additional, taken some stalls out to give a flow of traffic. So we'll be giving you that information when you check in the office, and just ask that, you take those pathways to be a dot going down somebody's walkway if that's not desired by them.
And then maybe like the water faucets, the garbage cans, and the stall cleaning I was asking about before.
Well, the water hydrants are going to be sanitized by the State Fair. And then they told me yesterday that the poly carts will be sanitized by that staff each time that they dump them and replace them there. But they also said they're going to be leaving what would be like a garden sprayer, that if any point in time somebody wants to spray that cart down again for their own protection or concern, that will be available to them to spray down. And our staff will be monitoring that. This is, going to be a continual fluid situation. It's everybody's going to have a little patience. I'm not sure how it's going to work. I want to make sure all the protocols are followed up by the fairgrounds. But in that saying that, we are going to have an OQHA monitor, as it might be called. So one of our directors is going to be every day assigned to the show, and they'll have a little badge that says OQHA monitor. And they're going to be checking for those exact things, making sure that that's there, and making sure people are abiding by the volumes of people in a ring or social distancing. It's not that if you're in your own social network and you're grouping that you can't be there talking. It's about a group of people, massive people congregating in a tightly knit area. That's going to be what we will discourage.
Well, and if I can add right there, is those monitors that you're mentioning that are going to have the OQHA bags, and I can just reach out to everybody that's listening right now, is let's really try to give them some a lot of leeway and respect, because as I was reading on the protocol list, they're only going to allow a certain number of horses in barn 8, a certain number of horses in the performance arena, in the warm-up arena. And if they were to go in and count, so, oh my gosh, we've got like 100 horses in this pen, they're gonna be there's gonna be something. I can just hear it now. Jackie's gonna have enough on her plate as it is, right? So I'm just saying, everybody, all our friends, everybody, share this video for one, because I think it'll really help between now and next Tuesday or Wednesday when everybody gets there. But really, let's try to help out these people that Jackie's putting in place to help preserve our horse shows, because that's honestly what we're doing. They're not trying to be these mean police. They're trying to preserve the horse show, so then we can have a horse show the week after and the week after and the week after the week after. I promise you, if we fail this and we don't do it right, then I could see people saying, oh, you fail, we're not doing any more horse shows. And there's going to be a lot of upset people across our country if we realize that we're the reason that happened.
Yeah, and let's be thinking about this. When we talk about horse, we're talking about the rider. Those don't count as 2; those count as 1.
Yep.
For instance, the barn 6 arena can allow for, I believe it's 66 people or horses. Well, we shouldn't really. I mean, that's not very good traffic if we have more than that. I mean, I wouldn't want to be there with horses. So, and the fact that we don't have roping in the covered outdoor, so that's going to be open to everybody.
Oh, that's great.
There's no reason that we shouldn't have space to ride and that we should be violating that. It's not going to be that hard to manage. The one that could be a little tighter is the super barn, because it's basically about 44. So that's going to be a little tighter to manage for sure. But for the most part, that ring is going to be a prep ring going down the chute to the Coliseum. So those should be really only the working class that's getting ready to go in there. Trail, when we have, trail going on, then that little area where Tim has, practice poles, that could get a little congested, and we just have to monitor it. I really, really, truly will be shocked if our colleagues aren't able to do this and it be very easy. I would be shocked. I don't think it's that difficult.
Can you go back and talk about the groups of 10, if that's what the number is? Is that what they can be together?
Yeah, like if you are at your barn and you have, 10 people there, that's not a problem. If you congregate and you guys all got a beer in your hand and there's 20 and you're all yucking it up a foot apart, that's going to be a problem.
And then can I just jump over? Can you talk about the town meeting on Wednesday?
Yes, I'm going to have a town hall meeting at 5 o'clock on Wednesday to go over all the protocols. Gene Spagnola, the chairman of the council, is going to be there as well, so he'll speak to a lot of the pro horsemen. And we'll be there to give you information, but most importantly, to take questions. If you have cases or scenarios that you want to ask us about, then we're there to answer that for you.
Hey, you want to give a shout out to your 2 contributors? Tim's wearing the hat of one of them that are donating some supplies.
We've got Nutrena has been so gracious, and they have donated 500 cloth masks to us. And so they're going to be available there. Anybody that wants a cloth mask, they'll be there. They're free. And then Santa Cruz Animal Health reached out to us, and they have donated 500 individual bottles of sanitizer. And then also Gemini Industries has donated 3 gallons of sanitizer for us to use in the office to make sure that we keep everything clean.
Fantastic.
Great job. Can we jump to the office a little bit and kind of talk about the protocol, maybe the waiver, and how the procedure will be in the horse show office?
Yes, we're going to have a marked area on the floor for you, and we're going to allow 1 person per computer station, and we will manage 4 stations at all time. So there'll be 1 person in each of those, and then there'll be a person with a marked line that will be waiting. And then when 1 person leaves, the next person will come up to the available station. There'll be an entry door and there will be an exit door, and those will be marked as well. Our tables, if you've been there a lot, are going to be set up in a little different way so that we offer that entry door and exit door that would be separate. So, and you'll just do the same as you always do. We'll have your packet. We'll get you your stuff. We'll get your check. Enter your classes. And then this year we have set up our OQHA number will serve as a texting number. So if you have to add or scratch a class, you can text that to our OQHA number, which is 405-440-0694. And then that automatically goes to an email so that we take and get you entered or scratched from that class.
And I take it you'll probably have that posted all over the horse show to text any ads or scratches to that number. For sure. And then draws, we'll be doing those and posting those on OQHA's website as well as main events. There could be a little challenge, when we get those rapid fire classes, but hopefully we'll keep up with it. We'll also put a paper draw out, but we just ask that if you go out to that area where they're posted, that you don't congregate there. Look at your class, take your picture of the sheet, and walk away. Perfect.
Can you talk about the safety for all of us and we're being temped and everything?
Yes, all of our staff is going to be temped every day when they come there. And if for some reason their temp is above 99.5, they won't be there for the day working, and we'll monitor what their status is the following day. If that is the case of a judge perhaps, then we've got to do some tracing of who they had as the ring steward if it was a following day of judging, and we'll just follow all protocols along that way. And we will keep a running log of everybody's temperature along through the time.
And then, so all the judges' sheets will be online also, won't they? And the results?
They're going to be posted online. We won't have anything in books. Yeah.
Oops. And all the patterns are posted already?
They're already up. Yes, sir.
Yep, I know that. You could ask me that, Tim. I knew that.
Yep. All the stall charts are up as well. Map of the fairgrounds, our protocols, everything's available on OQHA.
So can I just go back one about like banders, braiders, horseshoers, wash racks?
Sure. Those are considered, banders, braiders, farriers, those are considered individuals, a little more social contact. So we're asking those banders and braiders that when they're doing their work, that it's just them and the horse in there. Or if they have an unruly horse, but they find a way to keep some distance there. And then farriers the same way. You might speak with your farrier if there's a comfort level that they're not happy with and they want you to wear a mask. I don't think it's unreasonable for them to ask that. And then they themselves have to sanitize between each client, braiders, banders, and farriers. And then the vets we've talked about them with that same protocol. So if they come to see your horse and they're working with you, there will be social distancing, but they'll also sanitize between clients.
I'm just going to say this. I'm sure when Nellie and I are in our booth up there and you're going to protect us a lot, I'm sure. And then I'm sure that people probably have our phone numbers too. I'm sure they're going to have to text us a little bit too if they're scratching, adding out there too, so they don't have to come up and invade our space up there. We got enough problems as it is. But I think we're both be willing to use our phones too to help ease some of the pain on this too. Yeah. So I'm just saying, but don't come up to our booth.
Initially, one of our secretaries mentioned, well, we'll just give them Nellie and Tim's and whoever's at the gate. And I'm like, that could be a complete nightmare. So we're trying to take the bulk of it with us. But if there's a last minute one and they need to do it, that's fine too. I just didn't want to challenge you too much. We will have stanchions that will rope off with a distance from your announcer's booth. So there will be some inability for them to reach you per se. And then regarding going down into the Coliseum or any other ring, it'll be just horse and rider. going down the chute. All spectators or trainers will go up into the stands to watch. And with exception of the small fry, we will want one adult to go with that small fry down to the gate. And then once you get up in the stands, the fairgrounds is marking over their aisleway off, and they're asking that you have 2 seats between each seated individual. Now, the performance arena is a little different dynamic because as we all know, that chute is a lot shorter.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be a lot more challenging for my gate staff to manage. And so I would just ask everybody to respect that and just stay beyond that barrier going down into that chute.
Is there anything that's different for some of the hunt seat or not hunt seat, but the English classes, jump classes, or is it similar to our booth and stuff like that for Robert?
I didn't quite get what you meant.
Well, I mean, Robert has his booth up there too, right? He's going to be somewhat protected from the hunter jumper people coming up there and asking him questions.
You are, yeah.
No, I mean it's the same protocol as is for Nellie and myself, right? Like don't
100%. Yeah, 100%.
How about, I didn't ask you this before, but how about the bleachers in 8 when they're jumping over there? Is there a trick to that?
As far as the seating, they would want you at least 6 feet apart.
Okay. Got it. I'm trying to think where else I'm at here.
Any other exhibitors in the Coliseum or in the other, I think you have that in your email, your protocol email, as far as, leave a seat between you. There'll be every other row blocked off. Am I right in saying that?
Yes. And those protocols are available on www.AZQHA.org. And if you go to the Redbud page, all of those protocols are on there, and you can print that off and take it with you.
Laney just had a question about, will you be sanitizing the jumps and the jump poles in the warm-up arena and whatnot?
Yes. Robert and I have discussed that. We're going to have sprayers available there. So if somebody's got a practice pole and they're going to move that to lowered or elevated in the practice pen, then we'll have sanitizing spray there for them. And then, of course, when he does pick up, he's going to have to go through all of that. They're going to be wearing gloves when they pick up, and then sanitize those poles once they retrieve them.
Very good.
So it'd be helpful for you guys that are readjusting those poles, maybe do it with your feet and don't do it with your hands, okay? That's what I'm thinking. And then, Jackie, can you help me with this one? Can you tell my friends out there about the warm-up for the trail? So if we're out there, there'll be never a warm-up inside the main arena?
Yes, the warm-up is going to be in the big covered outdoor, much like what you have at the World Show. So Tim will get that set up for you. We'll also have bottles of spray there if you want to utilize them. And we'll leave that course set there for an extended period of time so there won't have to be any mad rush and a large amount of people on it at one time.
So do people, okay, they pre-enter, they pre-enter, is that how it works? Because I'm not sure because I don't have to enter. They pre-enter already, and then like if they have ads or scratches right now, do they go back and tell you guys and email you?
No, you mean right now before the show starts?
Yeah.
Right.
No, when they get there, we will turn their screen to face them, and it'll show what we show that they're entered in, and we'll have them verify that they want in that class, or if they want to scratch, that's where they would scratch. If they want to add, that's where they would add.
Perfect.
Got it. Oops, sorry. So here's my one question that really concerns me a little bit is I gotta say it nicely, changing your levels. Like, oh my God, I'm supposed to be a level 2 or level 3. That freaks me out. Like, what do you think the protocol on that is?
Technically, you're not supposed to change the levels at the game.
Right.
I mean,
Right. Like after the draws are posted, if there's something, okay, I'm just gonna go with that.
I mean, there's some honest mistakes that people truly, honestly make. But the whole concept of that is that if you decide you want to change it after the draw, then you're changing it you're changing it for your own reason. I would recommend you go to the office, and if you want to know how many are in the level 3 or the level 2, find that information out. Then if you choose you want to switch levels, you do it right there while you find out how many were in that draw.
So I'm going off the board here. Can I ask about the ranch riding patterns, if they're posted yet or if they're coming to be posted?
Actually, I have them, but I did not give them to her today. But yes, they'll be up tonight.
Very good.
You have an answer.
And the raining.
You have an answer for everything, Jackie. That is why you are so successful. I'm just saying. I love it.
So do we talk about if the news crews show up?
No, we haven't.
If any of the news people from the area come in and start filming and stuff like that, like maybe we should be careful a little bit.
I think we need to be smart. I mean, we're going to try and make sure that we accompany the news crew and that we kind of have a heads up on it. But I think I don't think there's a person in our group that doesn't want it to look right. I mean, you guys have been without a horse show and without an opportunity to do what you love to do. And I don't think there's anybody that would want to mess that up. So I have every confidence that if that point in time comes, that if they see something that they think might not look right, you'll step over to your colleague and say, hey, let's do this or let's do that. I mean, I think we all have accountability, and pro horsemen are the leaders in this industry, and they certainly need to take the lead today and make sure that we make this really successful, because it's only going to lead to confidence. I've had someone else that has got a big show, and they've really strongly said, we really are looking to how this goes off, if you have a lot of backlash or not. So we want to make sure this comes off right, and it only leads to some more opportunities for you guys to go show.
Well, I know we have a strong team, that's for darn sure. The one I want to touch base on to make sure I don't forget this one is when we leave the show, because there's other events that follow us after the all-around's done. So
the all-around is just winding down, and the rainers are coming in. The hunters come in kind of midway through the all-around stuff, but right as we're winding down with the all-around events, we have a massive amount of rainers coming in. So again, it's about that respect of your fellow horsemen and giving them the opportunity to get in there and in a safe manner and get their stalls set up.
Perfect.
Hang on. Is that me? Oh, that's not me. Okay, so I've kind of gone through my list here because I think I've done mine. I'd sure like to ask her something about the younger trainers, though.
Absolutely.
Because that's where we're at. So the first question I'm going to ask you is this, and it's important, but I think you'll get through it. What keeps you going? What how do you do this for 30 years? And I know you're passionate about the association. You love our industry. You've done so much in your lifetime, and that's props to you for sure. And you're trying the hardest you can to let's pull this thing off next week. And I'm excited to come work for you. So tell me about it.
It's just what I love. I mean, this whole industry, the AZQHA, it's like family to me. It was imprinted long ago from my father, for sure. I was telling Brad at one point in time earlier that, I remember when I was about 8 years old, 7 years old, I went to the AZQHA office, and Gus Roberson was the executive director back then, and I sat on his lap, and it was just like a bunch of family. I mean, that's what it was, and for me to grow up in it and have the opportunity to be successful. My father's in the Hall of Fame, and it's just something that I don't want to see ever go away. And having been a trainer, and albeit it's a long time ago, and I think with some level of success, I see the young people such as my daughter coming up in this, and I want it still to be there for them. I want it to be as good as it was for me.
Yeah.
And albeit I can't do what I do on the back of a horse, I believe that I have the knowledge to make sure you have the right ground to work on, that you have the right judge to evaluate and critique your performance, that you have an environment that's safe, and that you have an event that allows you to be as successful as you can be. And that's what drives me. My drive comes from being the best at whatever, trying to be the best at whatever I can be and whatever I can do. And at this stage in my life, this is what I've chosen to do, and I'm passionate about it, and I want it to be a success and be, most importantly, be something that the people that are doing what I used to do can do it as best as they can, and that I've given them that environment to do so.
So that's so, Jackie, I love it. I love that stuff.
Sure.
I have to go back because Tina gave me one of the questions. Are there any vendors at Redbud?
We have a lot of vendors, actually. I had to turn some vendors away, sadly, because of the social distancing that they imparted on us. The Coliseum, they're only allowing so many in a certain square footage. But yes, we've got Barb's Tales is going to be there, Logan's, Hitching Post Tack, Showtime Show Clothes, Showgirls, D Designs, Holla Denim, Kimes Ranch, Rod Patrick Boots, CR Ranchwear, Ann's Turquoise, and Show Off Designs. I think I've covered them all, I hope. And Shorty's. My goodness, how can I forget Shorty? Shorty, the most awesome person, by the way, ever. I will tell you, Shorty gives us 8 hats to give away. 8 hats to give away. And I just admire her so much. The things that she does for our industry and the things she does for the cancer drives and all of that. She is just such a great person to have in this industry. So couldn't forget her.
Perfect. And then someone asked about sanitation from the paint show to our show. Isn't it a big deal? Those guys are going through there and re-sanitizing all the barn stuff.
Actually, yeah, the paint show's going there, and so I know our kids, like we're doing a little fundraiser for the youth. They will bed your stalls for you and have them ready when you arrive. And so it's been a great fundraiser for our youth association here in Oklahoma. But the fairgrounds has real concerns, and the paint show doesn't move out till Sunday night. And there's a barrel race going on, and so they won't be out till Sunday, and the fairgrounds will not let them in there until they go through that place and completely sanitize it. And so they made that very clear. So they're going to go to great lengths.
Sinisa brought up a question that we had talked about and that we forgot to mention is what can exhibitors expect when they step into the arena, if it's showmanship? What can they expect to see from the ring steward if it's, what kind of social distancing are we going to see between ring stewards and judges, I guess?
Well, that's going to be a little bit of a challenge. For sure, when we're at a table, we're going to have them a judge and a ring steward at any 8-foot table. We've got to have a little bit of enough closeness that they can hear the score, but that'll be what it'll be. And then when you are showing to a ring steward, then we'll have a cone that'll give you the distance from what would be qualified as the judge, and then the walk around's not an issue. They'll be able to maintain that 6-foot distance, but that cone will be somewhat of a barrier between that exhibitor and the judge.
Perfect. Excellent.
So, I need to go back then because I'm not sure how you explained it. So what have you seen in your 30 years here that's changed and stuff like that from when Redbud was young and you were young and how we trained horses and how we rode and how we do it now?
Well, things are a lot different now. And I think we have just as many great horsemen. I was fortunate to grow up in an era that just unbelievable, the number of horsemen. But it was a lot different world, and our training was based on the development of a horse when the horse developed to the peak of its capability, not based on a timeline. The futurities weren't as ingrained today, and certainly not a 2-year-old futurity. So that was a lot different. If I got a horse that was a 3-year-old and I hoped to have him ready to go do, say a Snaffle bit futurity, but he mentally just wasn't there, or physically wasn't as strong and developed, then you just didn't show him. You continued to develop him until he became the horse that you thought he would be, and that might be as a 4-year-old or a 5-year-old. That part of it's changed a little bit. And then I don't know. I know in my lifetime, the biggest thing, and maybe this was part of my father's wisdom, I don't know, but it was about me gathering as much knowledge as I could and take bits and pieces from those mentors to be able to develop a program that could make me the best I could be. And that's something a lot of young people today, we're in such a social or a instant gratification society that some of them want to go get a little bit of knowledge and boom, jump right out there.
Yep.
And it's really something that the more you can get from the more mentors you can. It's not that you're mimicking them, but you're taking every element of their program and allowing yourself to craft and develop a program that works for you and allows you to be successful.
Amen.
And I'm afraid that's something I would, tell young people to do. I mean, get as much tutelage and knowledge and watch and ask. And I don't know of a single trainer out there that if they see an ambitious young person and you had questions or wanted to pick their brain, that wouldn't offer that wisdom to you.
Absolutely.
So, I've got one wild question for the night here, okay? And then I'm kind of done. Can you tell me what you see in your daughter that is about you? I mean, like, I've got to work with her a few years in the booth and stuff. I've got to watch her ride, and I've got to watch her grow a little bit too, but from the sidelines. So can you just talk about her a little bit and how you've taught her, how you raised her? She's got a show in front of you. I mean, I love that she does ranch riding and stuff like that, a ranch trail. I thought that was so cool.
She's, of course, she's my daughter. She's definitely got my work ethic. Her father and I both have a tremendous work ethic, and nobody will say they can outwork Katie because they can't. She's a committed and dedicated individual, and I think she's every bit, if not, she's probably more talented than I was, but I see so much of her grandfather in her as well. She's got so much balance. That was the thing about my dad. He could change leads on a 2-year-old that had 30 days on it, like it was nothing. I mean, like butter, just change leads, go across there. But that's because he had such a seat and timing. He had so much timing. And Katie has that ability as well. And I think I had some of it, but she's a very talented young lady, but she's a good person from the heart and a hard worker, and that's what'll get her places for sure. And she loves horses, loves them. Yeah.
She's such a cool girl. So I really want to give her props tonight too, because she's special too. So
I have a son too, by the way.
What's that?
I said, don't forget I have a son too.
Oh, your son? Yeah, I never see your son. Go ahead, talk about your son.
Well, Kyle was on the cover of the Journal one year. Yep, roping on a little horse, a heeling horse. Kyle made the heeling finals. Oh my goodness, he's gonna kill me if I don't get it right. Maybe 10 years old or 11.
No kidding.
Yeah, I made the heeling finals at the Youth World in Fort Worth. And Kyle is tremendously talented roper. He was just such a great talent. But he did that for a while, and then he went on, and like Katie, they both went to OSU and got a bachelor's, and then went on and got masters. at OSU, and Kyle is now in the business world and does very well for himself and very successful there, but absolutely loves the horses still. He was here last weekend and picked up a rope right away and started roping the dummy. I mean, it's never left his hand. Someday he'll have a heeling horse. I bet money on it.
So one more wild question. I keep having one more, but after a show like Redbud or Prairie Classic or any of those shows like that, what do you do to turn it off, like that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday after the week is over?
Well, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday does not get turned off. That's wrapping up the show and reconciling finances and all that. But then the following week, it's just a complete letdown and just relax and hang around the farm and watch Katie ride and take off in my Ranger and just relax a little bit. This year, I might be looking at a vacay, though, because this
I think you may just, if you put a tip jar or something up there, I think you may be able to pay for that vacation, because I think a lot of people are very much appreciative of what you've done to prepare for this, and the Oklahoma Quarter Horse Association as well. We see the effort that you're putting in, and it's a huge undertaking.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm maybe the front person, but it definitely can't happen without a strong board and a strong leadership of an affiliate. And I think Oklahoma Quarter Horse is a great affiliate, and I certainly appreciate everything they do. And they stand behind me no matter what. And that's nice to know that you have people that have your back.
You bet.
But I just want you to know that, I did do this one day, and when all of this came, it would have been a lot easier. I will promise you what's gone on in the last 4 weeks. It would have been a lot easier just to say, I think let's just not have the Redbud this year. But It wasn't just about the money for our affiliate. It was about all of the horse trainers out there that I know need to go to a horse show, because I was there one time and I was that person. And it was really from the heart of just trying to do something to jumpstart this industry.
Well, I think I feel that. I think Tim feels that. And I think everybody that's watching it so far and know that are going to watch it are probably going to feel the same way, Jackie. I think you lead from the heart, and that's passion. And, that's what I've always loved about dealing with you, is there's no punches pulled. It's like, it's straight up. This is how I'm going to tell you, because I want you to know exactly what I'm saying. You don't have to read between the lines on it. And I love that. I love that about you. I don't think I've ever missed a Redbud in 20, I don't know, since the early 2000s anyway. I remember through all the construction and before construction and all that kind of stuff. I remember all the ins and outs the hoops that you've had to jump through all that. And so here's another one, Jackie.
How about that keeping it real live?
Yeah, so we'll definitely, we will be doing this show live Wednesday, right after Jackie's town hall meeting, which is supposed to go around 4 or 5 o'clock on Wednesday. We'll be firing up the Keeping It Real show. My stalls are not far from the warm-up arena, which we're not allowed to congregate, so don't everybody come over there to watch our live show, but you can darn sure turn on your phone and watch it. But, we will be coming live to the Redbud for sure, and let everybody that's not at the Redbud get to see what a great job you've done in preparing, and that everybody there has done since they've gotten there. So I'm super excited in so many ways. I keep reminding my clients, I was like, look, let's go and have fun. So we put in a lot of work in these 2 months that we haven't gone to a horse show since Sun Circuit. We haven't been to a horse show, right? And I've gotten to teach so many cool things that I didn't get to teach when we were going from this horse show to that horse show, this horse show to that. I said, so let's not focus on our placings. Let's really, which I always try to tell, but now it feels like they can see a day's progress of work. And so now we just get to go have fun. Let's just see where we're at. And then we regroup and we go to Georgia. So that's what I'm excited about it. The pressure is really off. The excitement of just it coming is here. And so getting there and doing our job is all we have to do. It's super exciting.
We got it. Thank you, Jackie, for coming tonight. I appreciate it.
Gracious guest, Jackie. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And if you go back and watch this, Jackie, you'll see all the amazing comments about your character and who you are. So, and then we have some potential business for Katie on here, I see too. So if Katie didn't get to watch it live, make sure she goes back and watches it. But thanks again, Jackie. Great job. And we will see you very, very soon.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye. All right, everybody, we're going to close and wrap this up here very quickly. Shoot it off to Kona and give him our closing extra here. And thank you, everybody. Thank our sponsors when you see them, and we will see you on Monday. Have a great Memorial Day weekend.
Have a great weekend. Be safe.
Be safe.
Every once in a while, something comes along that could be a game changer. Enter Unishippers, a trusted shipping source for more than 30 years. If you need a reliable, fast shipping source, turn to a specialist that knows the unique shipping needs of the equine reproductive marketplace. As an authorized UPS reseller, Unishippers offers unbeatable shipping value. Let Unishippers deliver for you. Call Mark and his team today.
Caring for your horses is easy when there's a safe choice for you. If you need one feed for the whole barn, there's a safe choice. If your horses need gastric support, there's a safe choice for them too. Some horses need lower starch and sugar. You guessed it, there's a safe choice for them. There's also a safe choice for mares and foals, for seniors, and for easy keepers. All these horses can gain a lot with science-backed nutrition from Nutrena. Yours could too. For every horse, there's always a safe choice.
This has been a Kona Cam production. Thanks for watching. Tune in next time.